everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a very exciting update in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project pan. Not only have I hit another pan in this project, but I've actually hit 2 other pans in my collection in general, which is super exciting, especially when it comes to pan percentage. So I'm really looking forward to sharing this update for you. If you're unfamiliar on how this project works, basically at the beginning of the year, I selected 5 different eyeshadows to work on from my collection randomly, and I am working on those until I hit pan on them. I do have an out if I'm like really not enjoying an eyeshadow or I feel like I'm not gonna hit pan on it, I can roll it out after I use it 20 times. So pretty simple, pretty easy. There is a little bit of like maintenance involved in terms of tracking numbers, or I guess tracking like your eyeshadows because you are randomly selecting them. So I have a whole spreadsheet with like a bunch of different information on it. I have the list of like all my eyeshadows, and then I also have what I call like my numbers that change from month to month. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly talk through my numbers. So I have 248 eyeshadows. 14 of those are single shadows, 226 of those are across 13 different palettes, and I now have 35 pans. So really excited. I had 32 last month. Now this month I have 35 pans in my collection, which brings my pan percentage to 4.11%, which is very close to the 15% pan percentage that I want to hit. So really excited about those numbers. And that leaves me with 213 eligible eyeshadows to roll in. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. I'm gonna start off with my Huda Beauty palette and the shade Get It. So lately I've not been wearing this much, but I did manage to wear this twice this month, which while still not a lot, is more progress than I feel like I've made the last few months. So I honestly, like, I don't have much to say about that shadow. It's just something that I haven't been pulling for. I think I probably could use that more as a crease shade, and I just need to go ahead and do it. But I have another crease shade in this project, which I'm gonna talk about next, that I just prefer because this one is a little bit orangey. That said, I'm still leaning towards rolling that out at 20 uses just because I've had it in for months and months now and just really have not made the progress on it that I thought I would. And then, like I said, the next one I'm gonna talk about is my other crease shade, and it's from my ABH Nouveau palette. And it is the shade right here called Metro. I wore this one 6 times. Definitely in this project, my preferred crease shade. I just really like how it looks. I love mixing Metro with Fleur. It's just super pretty to me. I think the 2 of those gives me like honestly the perfect crease shade, and I wear that on by itself a lot too. Progress, I feel like, has looked the same the last few months. There's definitely a dip in there, but nothing crazy. Although I am looking forward to just continuing to use that because I think I'm gonna see some good progress, or I'm gonna hit pan on this eventually during this project. And then the other shade from that palette that's also in this project is the shade Isle. And it's this really pretty shimmer right here. I've worn this 4 times this month. I just typically just dip my finger in there. It's just a really nice, easy shimmer to put on. I'm not always pulling for shimmers, which is why I've only used it 4 times. But I do really enjoy that one, and it's very neutral, just simple, easy to use gold. So it definitely makes it easier when you have something like that in there. And it's nice that both those shades are in this palette because I went on a trip with my husband this past weekend just for 1 night away, and this is the only palette I took because I feel like the variety in here is really nice. So happy to have used both of those 10 times total, I guess. And then the next 2 shades come from my Jaclyn Hill Morphe Volume 1 palette. And before we get into those, I'm gonna talk about 2 of the other pans that I hit this month that weren't in a project. So they are the shades Beam and Silk Cream. I hit pan on those 2 shades this past month, which wasn't very hard, honestly. I was almost there, and I'm just glad that I finally hit pan on them. So really excited about that progress. And then in terms of the update for this video, I rolled in this shade right here called Jax last month, and I also hit pan on that one. So that brings the number of pans in this palette up to 7. And I wasn't thrilled when I rolled in Jax last month because I've had it in a project before. It's really just not the color that I'm going for these days, just not exactly what I'm into, but I knew I had a pretty deep hole in the shadow, and I was like, if I just wear that as liner for a few times, I can probably hit pan, which is exactly what I did. I wore it as liner 11 times, so it was a little bit more than I thought I was going to have to, but so I really focused in on that one, but I got 11 uses out of it, used it 11 times, and now I have another pan in this, so really excited about that. And then Hilster, this shade right here, I only wore once, and that is because, like I said, I was very focused on hitting pan and jacks because I knew I could do it. So I'll be back to focusing on Hilster this month. And that is the update, but now we get to randomly roll in a new eyeshadow, which is always my favorite part. So let's go ahead and pull up my pretty random app and we'll do just that. 244. All right, so 244 comes from my Pat McGrath Mothership 10, and it is this shade right here called Astral Lilac Aura. Super like bright shimmery shade, really pretty. Excited to be working on that one, something new finally, and from a palette that's newer to my collection that I honestly like have barely touched. So really looking forward to getting into that. All right, so per usual, I'm gonna go ahead and put on all 5 of these shades. I already have my makeup on, but that is okay. I'm gonna do a little mixeroo with Get It and Metro. I'm not going too crazy today because I'm going into the office for work, so I can't be doing anything super fancy, but I'm gonna show you how I can wear all these shades and make it wearable. Next, I'm gonna take this tiny little brush and dip this into Hilster and just kind of drag it along my outer lash line. Just drag it in this outer corner. And then we're gonna blend. Now I'm gonna go back into my ABH Nuvo palette and pick up Isle, pop that in the center of the lid and bring it inward. All right, now I'm gonna pick up a very precise brush and then pick up this new shade, the Astral Lilac Aura, on that, and I'm gonna put this in the inner corner. Super simple look, but honestly perfect for me for work. I'm gonna keep the lower lash line clean so it doesn't get too crazy or feel like too much for work. But yeah, I am super excited about this. Really happy that we are doing so well in this project and hitting another pan in the project and then just hitting pans in general in my collection. I love it. So I hope all of you enjoyed this video, getting to see how everything's going, getting to see the look that I put together, and thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you in my next one.